Oh, good morning, y'all. It's another same bat time, same bat channel this morning, isn't it? While I wait for y'all to come in, I've been busy this morning. And I'm still in my pajamas and I have not brushed my hair. But pretend you came to visit your neighbor. And let's get some questions answered, see what's going on. Whoops, I gotta fix these things down here. Let me do that while I'm thinking about it. All messages and I'll let you guys come in. Oh, there's Iris. Good morning, Miss Iris. I'm still in my pajamas. I've been busy this morning. I say busy, just doing, normal morning things. Hi, Beth. So I haven't brushed my hair. I'm still in my pajamas. But here we are. Because I count on making sure I'm here for you guys. It's part of my schedule. And no, I didn't advertise on Facebook or anything that I was coming out. I just know y'all know. Same bat time, same bat channel, right? That does date me, I know. Um, so what did I do this morning? You get up, and in my situation, you go outside, you go to the shower house, use the bathroom, make sure Wendy's safe and she goes to the bathroom. And then I go start the fire, and lately it's been the fire in the portable fire pit. The backyard's kind of cluttered and it's annoying me right now. I don't like clutter. Um, oh, there you go, uh, Iris. You got dressed because you had to walk a little one. Yeah, if I didn't live in the country, I would have had to get dressed too. But you know what? I didn't. It's the way it is. And so I started the fire in the portable fire pit because I have not restored the new grill yet, which would have been easier on my hips. Some stuff I'm learning about my MS. And I've been complaining about it being my back, and it's not. It's my hip. And especially my left hip. It gets sore as crap. And my left knee, and that's the leg that if I'm going to have that MS drop thing, that's where I get it from. Anyway, and so I put the kettle of water on, not the Kelly kettle. Beth, I see that. It only dates me if it's the Adam West Batman. Well, that's what I was thinking, you know. Thank you guys for using the uppercase cues. Um, Iris, prayers please for my grandson. He left Florida this morning to fly to England to propose to his girlfriend. Oh, congratulations. Sure, prayers for him. Who knows what that's going to bring, right? Have they ever met? It must have been like online dating or something. Well, I'm assuming. I shouldn't assume because you know what assuming does. Anyways, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, pray for him. Oh yeah, and pray for Homer. He's healing up his broken hand from that wind event thing. Pray for my Wendy. She seems sad a lot. I think that, oh, good that he's met her before. Um, Wendy has been sad a lot. But I'll tell you about the stuff that's happened in a few minutes, that went on this week. But Wendy, by the way, for new people, Wendy's my dog. Hi, Leanna. Um, and guys, new people especially, I look for 3 uppercase Q's before your comment. Then I will read your comment and comment on it. Otherwise, they just scroll past me. Um, and trolls, moderators, it's Smack a Troll Day. Hi, Mary. And if the Smack a Troll gets too much, you let me know, okay? And I can change some of that. Um, yeah, Wendy's been kind of sad. I know what it is. She needs a buddy. She's adjusting pretty well, but wow, does she miss as much as I do. She and I both miss activity and people and interaction, but not enough to live with people because it's quiet out here. It's very nice and quiet out here. And I love that quiet. So, anyways, I'm not seeing any more uppercase Q's yet. Okay. So, oh, I was so blessed this week. I don't even remember which day which thing was, but one of my neighbors was going to the grocery store up in Sanders at I-40, and she texted me, I'm going to go. Would you like to ride with me? And I said, oh, yes, please. Thank you so much. And so I was able to go. And so Wendy stayed home. Now, that's one of the events where Wendy acts very sad, but she's well behaved. But uh, she stayed home. And so I went to the grocery and I made sure. Now, I didn't get as much ice as sometimes I get for some reason, that knowing thing. I didn't think uh, it was appropriate. I didn't feel, know, whatever, that it was appropriate to get the normal amount of ice. So I got one block and one bag of cubes. And I put that grocery haul out on a video that was supposed to go to my members first and then become public in a couple of days. So, and I said grocery haul, but I'm getting everything I need when I can. So, um, thankfully, that person needed to stop at Dollar General. I was able to pick up Wendy's duck jerky. And no, I think I forgot to put that on our wish list again. I did put her little treat bites on our wish list again because 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she likes to play this game where she comes and she gets a treat, and then she sits and she gets a treat, and she shakes and she gets a treat. And so I've been working with little like tricks, things. So, I did put that on, but I think I forgot to put on the duck jerky. She loves those water buffalo ears. That was Robert and Nancy that bought the last batch of those. I'll put those back out. We don't need them yet, but I don't want to run out right away. And in the bag this time, there was one that was a third the size of Wendy. We gave that to Wendy's buddy Farkas. And Farkas is a really big working livestock guardian dog. What's the Pyrenees? A huge dog, but the two of them are buddies, and so we gave that great big one to Farkas, and because it was huge, she couldn't hardly move it. It was so big. Anyway, but I'll put some of those things in my wish list because there's been a bunch of stuff kind of happen with me this week. If you guys want to ask me questions, help me have a subject to talk about, whatever, give me, before you start your comment, put 3 uppercase Q's, and then I'll read that comment and I'll respond to you online here. Otherwise, the super thanks work if you want to do that for us. Oh, by the way, I got the notification. I will get paid for the 3rd time this year from YouTube. I only get paid when I make $100. And so I will get paid by YouTube sometime in the next month. So that means that'll be the third $100 I've made little this year. Okay. And so I usually make about $400 in a year on YouTube. If I would work YouTube more, I could make more money. The same thing with Amazon. I know I don't work it more. I just feel so almost overwhelmed by the stuff that I'm working on. And my MS affects quite a few things for me. So, well, I hate to label myself that way, but honestly, that's what it is I have an autoimmune and I do my best. Okay. But there's clutter in my yard from the handymen people coming to help me with jobs that are bigger than I can handle. I've had a lot of trouble in the last month um, being able to walk or to stand up for any amount of time. Now, a blessing and a really big, I'm so proud of it or whatever. Yesterday, okay, another friend, I'm so grateful for this friend as well, but this other friend that's local and neighbor, um, texted me during the week and said, you're going to farmer's market with me this week because I will not have my water totes on the trailer. And she doesn't like to bring her trailer up my road that leads to my driveway. So she said, I will not have the trailer on my truck. And so I'm coming to get you so you can get out and have some social time. And we'll hang out at farmer's market Saturday morning. And she did. She came to get me. And she texted me when she was on her way. And I went, oh crap, I got to get ready. Anyway, um, I was able to ride with her and go. And I really enjoyed having the time out to visit with my neighbors a little bit. And I looked through the thrift store at Witchwell. So it's the Witchwell thrift store, Witchwell Church thrift store. I don't know what the official name is. Somebody will figure it out or something. But it's at the farmers market site, which is on the property of the church at Witchwell. Anyway, so I was able to go to that. And when she came, I was prepared to leave Wendy home. And surprise, she goes, will you take him, Wendy? So, surprise! I had to quickly pull that together and we took Wendy. So, Wendy got to do farmer's market too. She was really well behaved. She's such a good girl. She has opened her eye to look at me. She's, okay, sorry about that. I can't show you things today or you know, and go. So, all right, I'm going to go back and look for uppercase Q comments. I'm trying to remember what else big that happened this week. So I was able to go to farmer's market. When I got the groceries, some of you've already seen the grocery haul. Um, and then, oh, so this morning, I was telling you about this morning. Um, I when I made the hot water on the portable fire pit, because I'm in the process of moving the big fire pit, but I might not use it the same. I know what I mean. But I have not restored the new, to me, wood-fired grill that I got. It needs a good coat of grill paint and stuff, and it needs all the bolts tightened. I haven't done that yet, but that'll be easier for me to use because I don't have to bend over as much or scooch down. And for me, scooching down, always been a problem my whole life. Doing that thing, what do they call it? Squats. My whole life. In kindergarten, I used to go home crying at night because I couldn't sit cross-legged like everybody else could. because I just can't move my body that way. And so it's something health wise with me. But anyway, so what I find that I tend to do is if I've got to scooch or squat, I end up sitting on a stool. So, and it'll be okay. It's just I don't, when I have to get up, it's not very graceful. Kind of have to rock a little bit to get myself up. But anyway, so I put the big kettle. That kettle's more, it's almost a gallon of water. It's stainless steel. It's almost a gallon of water. I put that on the fire pit at first while there was a flame, let it come to a boil. And then when after that boiled, so earlier in the week I had made a chicken. Okay, I had gotten a package of chicken drumsticks that were really cheap. And I don't like chicken drumsticks, but I know Wendy loves chicken. And so one day I put some olive oil in the bottom of my pot that goes in my thermal pot. And I put it on the fire and I put the chicken in and I salted the chicken and then let it kind of fry up. And then I filled the pot with water and I put half a cup of rice in it. And that's what we ate, I don't know, a few days ago. It was 2 days worth of food. Anyway, and yeah, I have to reboil it and do things like that because I don't have any waterproof containers that I can put it in the cooler or short containers that'll fit in my cooler drawer. So, uh, I, this morning, because I was gone yesterday, I didn't even deal with that stuff. I ate yogurt yesterday. And I had coffee and I had yogurt yesterday. Anyway, oh, and I had Parmesan cheese. Anyway, so this morning I had a roast that I picked up for like $16. And I did the same thing. I seared it or browned it in olive oil in the pan because I don't have any tallow right now. Anyway, I seared it in olive oil in the pan on the hot fire pit. And then when it was looking really good and crusty, I put water in the pan to cover it and brought it to a really good boil. And I took a little chunk off, so we tried it. It's going to be good. There's not enough salt in it yet, but that's okay. Um, and then I brought the pot off the fire pit and put it in. It's the inside of my thermal pot, so I put it in the thermal pot, and it's over there still cooking. That'll act like a crock pot for hours, and supper time it will still be hot, and then I'll reboil it. Depends on how hot it is tonight. If that roast is still pretty hot in the thermal pot, then I'll leave it overnight. If not, then I'll boil it again in the morning. But I'll boil it and add salt to it. And we'll do that a number of times, depending on how many days I'm able to keep it. I'm not expecting it to last long because it tastes good. Wendy likes it, and you get that nice meat broth that you can drink. Anyways, so that's what I kind of did this morning. I didn't burn trash this morning. I'm trying to get to where I'm only burning trash once a week. I did put it out on Which Well Lend a Hand a group. The title's longer than that, but I still haven't memorized it good. I put out there that two ads I put out there. One was if somebody was going to take care of trash and had some room on their truck, I would really like someone to, I will help pay for their taking their trash or something, but I don't have a lot of money, but I would really appreciate somebody taking the non-burnable trash from my place, which isn't a lot, but, And then the second thing I put out there was the um, if somebody's going to Tractor Supply, would they because you got to remember, for those of you who are new, I don't have I don't have a vehicle, and I checked this past week. They haven't touched my vehicle at the shop, so they haven't put the door handle on that Stan broke. He didn't break it on purpose. I mean, it's an old car, right? But he went to open the door and the handle broke, and they didn't look at my air conditioner anymore because they can't move it in the shop. And so I checked in with Randy Gibbs, who is having my computer rebuilt, and he hasn't touched my computer yet. And once he starts working on it, he needs 3 weeks. So much for being a month without. Now it's going to be 2 months, it looks like. I'm starting to wonder if I'm ever going to get this vehicle back, if it's ever going to run the way I need it to run, or what is the great creator doing with me in my life. Oh no. But anyway, so I'm going to, so let's see, did that caught you up to what I was doing this morning and why I'm, didn't brush my hair and am in my pajamas, and that's what we're doing today. And someday I'm going to do one of these lives and I'll advertise it as Pajama Day or something. We could do Pajama Day like a few times a year or something. That would be kind of fun. We could all sit in our pajamas and have our morning drink and chit chat. Anyways, but I would like that better if it was an interactive video like a Zoom thing or something. And so I may have to activate that buy me a coffee thing, because you can do that kind of interactive stuff over there. You can also do that kind of stuff on Patreon. But I don't know how I feel about Patreon. I just haven't found a way to. Anyways, so let me go back. You guys, I'm holding the phone because y'all know that I broke my tripod recently, so I need a new tripod. Um, well, I say I need one. I haven't decided what I want. It's not first on my list, but my hand isn't always steady, and I do what I can, but I also need to be careful where I am and how much I move the phone, because the signal's not strong here at the property. And no, I have not had, I'm not ready to have the monthly expense of Starlink. So, no. So I just do what I can with what I've got. And I think that that's what we're asked to do a lot. So it was what, at least it's what I'm asked to do a lot. So that's what I keep doing. So I'm going to go back and look through y'all's comments. I'm sure my moderators are really good at this. I'm pretty sure my moderators are encouraging you to put 3 uppercase Q's in front of your comments that you want me to read and respond to, because there's the only ones I really read. Okay? And so now I'm going to get you closer so I can see because it's on my phone, okay, guys? And I'm going to go back and I'm going to take a look, and I'll notice a few names, I'm sure, and say hi to you. Okay, I did that one already. There was Leanna. I remember her and Mary coming in. I see new people. I'm not reading your names right now, but welcome. Just remember that we're a very, maybe gentle community, and we kind of keep our political and other and religious comments kind of to ourselves. I do speak about the great creator, or sometimes I'll say why, or as in the letter Y for Yahweh, or I will say something of that because that's my belief. It doesn't matter that you have a different belief. You can be here. You are welcome. I just do me. You do you. Okay? But be gentle with people on our live stream. Don't troll us because we will, my moderators have the permission to smack a troll and just get rid of you. Just be nice to each other out here. I can help you often with problem solving and stuff. I had been a nomad for years and years and years. I grew up off grid in Maine, and even though it was an area of Maine that is not off grid anymore, but I grew up off grid in Maine and have lived a mostly off grid life and travel nomadic kind of lifestyle. I met Bob Wells before there was an RTR. I was at all the first ones. There came a point where it wasn't comfortable for me anymore, and I just stopped doing that. I have been part of the Overland Expo family, showing off my rig in the showcase. My rig is a 1998 Chevy Tracker. It's the one that I just had an engine rebuild, and now the computer's bad. And I have questions about whether my transmission's going to be okay. But whatever. I love to travel. Staying put more than 3 months is horribly painful for me, but it's what I'm being asked to do at this stage of my life. So I can't say much about that. But we have super thanks, super chats, whatever that stuff's all called out there, where you could donate money if you want to. You can find everywhere out there. You can find my email address. You can find my um, Amazon store for you to buy from at no extra cost to you. It helps me get a few pennies. Probably twice a year, I get a $10 deposit in my account, sometimes 3 times a year. So I'm not getting much money off of Amazon, but I'm not working it like a lot of people work it because I don't think that you guys got to buy a lot of stuff to be okay. Do I have recommendations? Sure, I do. But when the time comes, I will recommend things in a different way. I just feel almost overwhelmed sometimes with the things I'm trying to do here to make this comfortable because I didn't plan for this. This building was built COVID year for an emergency, not for I was going to live here full time because I didn't want to. I was going to stay on the road. I love my overlanding. I love driving on a dirt road. I just gotta say that. And I don't mind driving on a dirt road where I gotta watch for a pothole. Um, I love it. I don't like rock crawling at all. I love camping. I love living very close to nature. I'm healthier that way. Anyways, let me get back there and start looking for the uppercase Q's so that I can talk about your comments. So, okay, let me stop talking for a few minutes and find your stuff. Um, and so I was trying to tell you guys too, I just remembering that I can answer your questions or try, or our community can help you with things, anything, nomadic, round the world travel, all kinds of things. Okay, so be willing to ask us. So here we go. Here's Beth. LGD Farkas. I miss my Pyrenees. Ta, I think it says Taquina. Um, oh, I'm sorry. But yes, Farkas, he's the bomb. And it's so funny because Wendy's like 9 pounds. Okay, she's little. But the two of them are just buddies. They met each other when they were both puppies. So it's a thing. Here's Leanna. Oh, I forgot to thank, okay, Leanna and her friend Howard were going to town yesterday from the farmer's market. They asked me to bring a cooler so they could get me another block of ice. And I gave them some money because they were already going to town. They went ahead and got me a few extra items that will help me have an easier week. I also ordered more stuff from Amazon. There'll come a conversation and maybe a day when I do an actual full length video or something about longer term food storage when you're carnivore or off grid and you need to have emergency foods because things like not having a vehicle happen in life. And so, me not having a vehicle, I've had to try some other foods. So I'm no longer carnivore because of that. But I'm definitely animal based, or what's the other one that's ancestral, something, something of that. But I've been testing foods. Oh no, I know what I am. That's why that word didn't come. I don't like a bunch of labels, okay? But I have decided to go back to biblical foods. And so I'm studying and maneuvering what that's going to look like for me. And to be doing this with a cooler, but not a car, so not much access to ice. I'm looking for the ways to have the healthiest way to be okay as I do it. And so I'm testing things. And I'm very much aware that if you make yogurt, well, it's best to make it out of raw milk, okay, yogurt, but it's okay. Um, the bacteria that turns milk into yogurt helps it to be healthier for you. It doesn't remove all the things, like some people can only have the A2 milks and stuff. I'm one of those people most of the time, okay? But I don't buy it that way because I don't have money like that and stuff. But I did learn that kefir grains will change the molecular structure of any milk and make it more okay for all people. And so even if I have to have commercial milk, like bought from Dollar General, I've ordered kefir grains. We'll find out how that works, okay? But if the kefir grains make me a product that I could be okay with seasonally because the weather's hot, and that's where it came from to start with. And so that's okay, that's where I'm headed. Okay. Leanna says, "Thank you, everyone who's been praying for me. We have ruled out cancer. Yay! It now boils down to an autoimmune disorder, which is quite debilitating. Learning to live with it, feeling good today." Yes, Leanna. And she and I talked, I mean, we talked quite a bit anyways, but her autoimmune could be that it started out with MS and progressed to this other one, but nobody really knows. And so I'm so grateful for her and her example. And now I'm even more grateful for my MS because sometimes other people lean on me a little bit and ask me stuff. And the way I'm handling mine helps encourage somebody else. And if it helps you, fantastic. If it doesn't, great. Just don't be ugly about it, okay? We don't need all the negatives. And yes, sometimes I'm negative too. I wake up some days and go, so why am I still here if I can't walk? And then I go, okay, but I'm not ready to go. Don't take me yet because I'm not really ready. And then I have to apologize for, talking that way about one of his people, and or whatever. It's how I do it, okay? But I Leanna has been a wonderful blessing to me in many, many ways. And so I'm so grateful. And yes, I'm so thank you all for praying for her. Here's Catherine. Catherine's uppercase Q's. Good morning, everyone. I'm here, but I was bathing and cleaning his toes as I was listening. Oh, she was helping Homer clean up this morning because Homer doesn't have a hand right now. He busted up his hand. Okay, look, I'm watching for three uppercase Q's in front of comments. Those are the ones that I will be reading. Sometimes I see a name, guys. Um, I see a Deborah's name a number of times. Welcome, Deborah. Hello. I'm watching for uppercase Q's. I don't see any more yet. Oh, Donna K is waving with her pink hands. Hi, Donna K. Okay, still looking for uppercase Q's. Okay, Catherine. Uh, you could do some cooking videos too to teach us different ways to cook. Absolutely. And I've been thinking about how I want to do that, Catherine. I um I just don't want to do it when I'm tripping over the construction stuff on the ground still. We're almost done. Oh, when Jess came this past week, um, we finished up the catio on the side of the shower house that has an entrance to the inside. And inside, there's space for me to have a litter box. I have not hung it yet. I ordered off of Amazon cup hooks. I have a cat hammock. There's a the crate that I use for Wendy that can be used as a cat bed that can be in there. There's space for all this. And so I had just put up some extra shelves and he glued the drain pipe to the hand wash sink. I've still got to figure out the watering system for the hand wash sink. That I don't have in a way that I like yet. But um, it's coming together so that that's where the working cats will live. And when I first get them, they'll stay in there for 2 weeks until they understand it's home. And then after that, they can come and go from it. So it'll be where they sleep and where they hang out and stuff like that. And over time, they may use the litter box for 2 weeks, but they'll be encouraged to, as soon as they're going outside, use the bathroom outside. And I have a lift up door on an area that will be the feeding station so I can feed them from outside. And the plan is that I will eventually get a chicken coop solar operated automatic door that opens with daylight and closes with dusk to dawn. And so the cats will be able to go in and out. And if they want to stay in at night, they got to go in before the door closes. So that's the plan, is that will go on there. Right now, I don't have a cat. So I have the blessing of being able to wait a couple of weeks before I order that, or a month before I order that. I don't need it until after cats have been here a couple of weeks. So right now I don't even have it, but I ordered the fan for the shower house wall because now that it's more closed up, it's getting hot in there. It has a door on it and everything. It's not finished, and it's like camp style, so it's not perfect, Paint's going to make it look better. But it's much more comfortable, much more easy to use. Um, oh, I had told you guys that I had put the ad out on the Witchwell lend a hand thing for if somebody was going to Tractor Supply. I really want my pellets. They're bedding pellets that I use for the composting toilet, and they're pine, and I really want some of those. It makes it easier. I've had quite a few flies in the composting toilet, but that's because I ran out of pellets, and I do all my business in there, and it does not have a urine separator. The system I have works that way, which is fine as long as you don't run out of supplies. So I have done a couple of cheap to free things from here. I have gathered some old dry straw that I had and put in it. I went under the pine trees and gathered some of the, I think it's called pine duff. It's half decomposted pine needles. I got some of that and used in it. So it's fine, but it's probably a little too wet in there right now with the rain we've started to have. And so I had a few flies and I had to deal with that. I put a little ash from the stove, from the cooking fires in there. I burn my trash separate from my all my other fires are only wood. I you ever come here, some people thought I was really ugly when they came here. And I was like, don't put trash. Don't put a paper plate you ate out of in my fire pits. Just don't do it. The reason is if we make it a habit that those are only wood fires, I can use the ash for something different. And I always have a burn barrel for trash. And so put the trash in the burn barrel. Don't, the burnable trash. Don't put that in my fire pit. Just don't do it. And people are like, well, why not? I do it in the forest. Well, this isn't the forest, just whatever. Yes, Catherine. Sorry, I've been wiggling the phone just there. Um, okay, keep going. Uppercase Q's, but that's Beth. Please remember to hit like and give thumbs up for Lesa. Thank you. I see the big highlighted my name. Oh, thank you, Ibra. Okay. Please use the uppercase Q's. Um, oh dear, oh, this is Iris. Oh dear, I'm learning patience as well, Lesa. God has his hands full with me. Yeah, there are times, right? And me too. Okay. There we go. Deborah Lintz. Uppercase Q's. My granddaughter made number two in college women's wrestling in the entire United States. Wow, that's an accomplishment. She just came back from her first Olympic wrestling tournament in Peru, where she was number two. Oh, congratulations, Deborah. That's wonderful. I have some little gnat that's bothering me. You probably can't see it because I can hardly see it. Um, okay, you didn't use uppercase Q's. Who is that? Taco Man? It's a misnomer that off grid means no electronics. What off grid truly means is that you are not hooked to any of the commercial utilities. I'm not. Here, right here, is my only. I don't know that you can see that. I got to turn the camera around and look at it this way. This right here, this is my only electricity. That all by itself. And I have a couple of solar panels, but they're not hooked up. So I take this outdoors and I put a solar panel on it and I charge my cell phone. End of story. That's it. That's all I've got. Well, no, it's not, because see that light up there and that cord? That cord and that light probably cost me $35, something like that. That cord goes outside, and there's a little tiny solar panel outside. And see that orange light right there? I have some of those kinds of lights that are rechargeable USBs, like my headlamp. Okay. And I have a flashlight that rechargeable. And so I have a few things like that, but not very many. Um, okay, uppercase Q's. Okay, uppercase Q's. Would you be willing to talk about? I'm sitting in the corner of the cabin where the signal is the best. So let's so let's see if I can try to talk about what Leanna just said. So years. The first time I went with another raw vegan friend. She's written a lot of cookbooks. Um, and anyway, so I went with her, got there, loved it so much that 3 weeks later, after I went home, 3 weeks later, I turned around and went back. And I was helping out these people, Americans, that thought they were helping Ticos. Um, I went up to help them renovate an old farmhouse that you could not drive to. And you would get off a bus and you would walk up a coffee plantation mountain, 45 minutes up the mountain. So basically a hike. Um, and so you didn't go to town very often. There was a bus like on Thursdays or something. I don't remember exactly, but anyway. We were up there. I don't know how long I was there, a number of months. And everybody left to go to town, and there was me and this younger guy. He had been, Travis, love that guy. He had been a Peace Corps worker in Japan. And so everybody had gone to town. I don't know how many months I had been there. No idea. Just lots of work, painting walls, plugging holes, trying to keep, rodents, and just trying to plant gardens, trying to keep things, trying to make it livable so that they could do something else. I don't know what they were. I don't remember what they were all working on at the time. But well, the guy that was running it seemed like he was just trying to find girls to date. I don't know, but whatever. We were up there and I was having a ball painting walls and, cooking and whatever. And so everybody had gone. They were going to be gone a few weeks. And so it was just Travis and I up there. And we went to bed one night and Travis woke me up. And he woke me up saying, well, you've got some friends. And I was like, what is he talking about? And I tried to move to like wake up. And I couldn't move at all. Like, I couldn't move. But I guess I opened my eyes and he said, well, at least you're alive. I was like confused, and and he said, well, so what's up with your buddies? I'm thinking, what are you talking about? And I tried to talk. And he goes, "Well, since it looks like you can't talk, can you move your eyeballs? Move your eyeballs to the right if you can hear me." So I moved. I heard him out. "Okay, Wendy, thank you. It's not here. I think it's at the neighbor's. It's not. It's not here. The doorbell didn't go off." We have driveway alarms, and she's not quite used to driveway alarms, but we often hear vehicles, and it's at the neighbor's house. So that's why she's barking. It's okay, Wendy, relax. It's okay. Um, okay, so he had his tea and he came back, and I evidently had vomited and soiled myself laying. I was sleeping on the floor in the living room space. There were no beds. And he picked me up, got my clothes off me, took me in the shower, cleaned me up, made me a bed near the bathroom, and laid me down. And then he went and he got the living room cleaned up and put the clothes in. He said when he told me the story of he said he when he told me the story of going up the hill, he said he put the shovel in the ground. He picked out a going up the hill. He said he put the shovel in the ground. He picked out a he put the shovel in the ground. He started to dig and he couldn't do it. He put the shovel in the ground. He started to dig and he couldn't do it. And he sat down on the ground and he prayed and he asked God to do. And then he cried. And he decided that if I died, he would plant a meme sapote, which is my absolute favorite fruit. He would plant that tree over me, my body. What is up with this connection today? What is up with this connection today? Somebody doesn't want me to tell this story, huh? So, anyways, rice water is when you soak the rice getting ready to make rice, okay? And congee is after you cook it. But congee is made like 8 cups of water and 1 cup of rice. So it's very thin porridge out of rice. So he at first he started soaking rice while he was washing laundry and doing some other stuff. And then he kept coming back to check on me, but all I could do was move my eyeballs. And he really thought I was going to die. And well, I didn't know either. I mean, being awake, aware, and not being able to move is scary. So he started by dripping. I couldn't open my mouth. He started by dripping rice water, the soaked rice water, on my lip. And he would move my lip so that it would go inside. And after a number of hours, he was like, he couldn't see my throat swallow or anything. And after a number of hours of trying to put some and then leaving me and doing something else, he just said, "I don't know what's going to happen. I hope you make it through the night." And I made it through the night. And the next day, he asked me if I was still using my eyeballs. And he asked me, he slept out there beside the bed he had made for me because he thought I was going to die. Well, I thought I was going to die. Anyway, so he started by dripping the rice water on my lips. Well, the next morning, I could move my lip a little bit. And I mean, like that, like nothing. And so he kept on with the rice water, a spoonful at a time. And then he made congee. because he was like, I want to make sure I'm getting warm into you because you feel cold to me. And so by, I don't know, it was a few days. My memory could be off too, but it was a few days of him just dripping this rice stuff on my lips. And then the congee. And then one day I said to him, I don't feel good. I think I'm going to throw up. And he goes, Wait, you talked. And I was like, Oh, yeah, I talked. And then it was, Can you do anything else? I don't know. So I could talk, then I could sit up, and then he was able to take me to the bathroom. He'd had to clean me up and change my bedding and my clothes and stuff like that a number of times. And so but there wasn't much for me to throw up when I wasn't eating. But anyway, I wanted to throw up and I had to use the bathroom, and he took me in and we did that, and he held me on the toilet and then showered me and then put me back to bed. All right. Anyway, within a week, I was sitting up again. I was still pretty sick, and every time I turn around, I'd get sick again, and we couldn't figure it out. But the only way to leave was to walk the 45 minutes down the hill and wait for the bus. And I couldn't do it. So I had to get stronger before I could leave. So it was a month or more before I was able to leave. And I went down, got on the bus, don't remember the whole ride, don't remember where I went, but I do remember that within 2 months I was trying to come back to the United States. And I didn't have much family that would talk to me, but I decided to try to go to Maine and see if one of my sisters would. And I got there. She just moved. I don't know the details, but she picked me up at the airport, got to her house, and I just went to bed. I was like, I'm just really tired. Can I just go to bed? And I went to bed, and she was angry the next day, hunting for me, and I was still in bed. And I never got out of bed, and it had been more than 24 hours. And I was like, I don't feel good. I'm really sick, and I can't, I was having trouble talking, but I was so sick I couldn't get up. And she, I don't know, she stayed mad at me for forever, but she took me to the hospital kind of begrudgingly, right? And I got to the hospital, and the doctor says, Have you been traveling? And I said, Yeah, I wrote it on the paper. And he said, You tell me where you were. And I said, Costa Rica. And he said, You've got dengue. I know you got dengue. But he said, I think you've got something else. So dengue fever is a mosquito-borne illness that you could die from. Um, and it's why you don't want mosquitoes breeding anywhere. Okay? Well, when he actually did the tests for the dengue, he also tested malaria. I had malaria and dengue at the same time, and I wasn't over it completely. And so the doctor treated me. My sister was angry with me. I don't remember how I left her place, but I wasn't welcome there and somehow ended up in a homeless shelter. I do remember that. But basically, I got healed by Travis knowing to use this rice water and congee. So as I've been testing my emergency foods here, because I don't have a vehicle, so I can't drive to have fresh meats and stuff like that, I'm having to maneuver what am I able to eat that one won't upset my stomach and put me right back into chronic diarrhea or something, and two won't kick up the autoimmune disease. So um, one of the things I've tested was rice. I know I cannot have basmati rice, but I can have jasmine rice. And I recently was listening to a video and realized that jasmine rice was one of the most mild ones, and it's the one to have if you've got autoimmunes. Well, anyways, and so when I made it, my mind just went to be careful, but make it as this congee, this porridge, this soup, this whatever you want to call it. And so I'm using like 8 times the water you normally would. Now, sometimes I'm only making a small amount, so maybe I'm doing 4 cups of water and a half a cup of rice or something like that. But even Wendy likes it. And when it's cooked with meat juices, to me, this is very much animal based. Okay. I would love to have fruits and stuff, but I know fruits can make my digestion work well, but it can push things through too. And I don't want to end up with diarrhea. So I'm being careful. And from a biblical food sense, I would like to be doing sourdough, but sourdough really, to me, I may change my mind about this, but sourdough to me is nearly seasonal. And because I'm so sensitive to things, I can use N-corn, which is like the oldest wheat in the world. N-corn flour I can use. I'm not sure if I can grind with the grinder I have, if I can grind and corn wheat grains. So at some point, maybe next month, I will order a small bag of Encorn berries, seeds, right, for my long term food storage here for emergency food. But while I have that, I will find out whether it works with my little hand grinder so that if I can make my own flour, it would be better. But I have already ordered jovial and corn flour that is produced in France because, and it's $14 a pound. It's not cheap. But I figure if I have that and the kefir grains and some jasmine rice, yes, they're carbs. I get it. But if I do a bigger proportion of meat when I'm able, and then make sure that these are live foods. So do the first and keep them live. That's my plan. And it will also have me working more with my emergency food storage because I don't know how many of you people know, but it gets really hot here and then it gets really cold here in the winter, okay? So the weather, I'm hearing a wheeze in my throat. The weather changes affect where you store your food. And I do not have a, what's it called? Um, I don't have air conditioning and heating like an average American home would have. So my space is not climate controlled. So my food is not stored in the house, first off. And the reason it's not is because I have rodents and stuff and bugs and ants, and I don't want that stuff in the cabin. And the cabin's small. So I'm working on my food storage because in the past, my food storage had emergency foods that other people could eat, but I couldn't eat any of it. And I realized at one point, well, that's useless. So I gave that away and threw away some of it, whatever was appropriate. And now what I'm trying to get is foods that are healthy for me. And I'm also changing the way I store them because the extreme temperature changes to your stored foods. The foods can sweat inside the containers and then they just mold and spoil. Or there's lots of ways. Canned goods, which I hardly can use, but canned goods, the cans can expand and pop. If they're pop top cans, the seal will dry out on them and then they're useless. So I'm working on using Barron's trash cans uh, good old metal trash cans, raising them up off the ground so that there's no place for an animal to build a house underneath of them. But, anyways, and then inside the trash can, I'm putting another smaller version of the same trash can, like a 10-gallon one. And that leaves me 2 or 3 inches to insulate all the way around the outside. So I'm insulating them. And then I can use the lid for the inside barrel as a tray to hold other items like paper towels, toilet paper, I don't know, a spare blanket, a spare sleeping bag. I don't know. But I can use that lid upside down. That will further insulate the top. And then this storage system will be stored where I can try to keep the sun off of it. But, anyways, it's about this really insulating it. I'm going to put a dry rid pack thing, probably a cheap $1 one, but whatever, inside the barrels as well, but not inside with the food, inside with the insulation. But that's just to keep condensation down, because a lot of people store food in these areas that are off grid, sort of like I am, and they don't even think about the temperature changes, or they put everything in plastic buckets. So I've already tried a lot of stuff with storing long term storage food, and it doesn't work well unless you're very smart about it. And I have a lot of experience with not only mine going bad, but other people's. And so, and the dry beans that like you can get from food banks and stuff, is it worth it? Yeah, but they're so freaking dry that you could boil these things for days and days and days and they'll never get soft. And I don't know if a pressure cooker helps them or not, but I'm just saying some of that's not worth it. So, okay, deep breath. So, there I am. I told that story, Liana. Yeah, congee is a very good health food. It helps lots of things. Diarrhea. It will kind of almost reset as long as you're not allergic to rice. But jasmine rice is the best one from what I understand. All right. Yeah, buffering. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, Iris. Who is this living man, Lesa? I did not hear his name. From Costa Rica story? That would have been Travis. Oh, loving. That was Travis. Okay, I'm hunting for uppercase Q's. 3 uppercase Q's. Wait, Wendy, it's not here, honey. It's got to be at Mr. Brent's. It's not here. Yep. Okay. Wendy hasn't learned how to tell if the vehicle sound is here or not, but I did get the driveway alarms, and so they were 50 some odd dollars, but they work beautifully. I Yeah. Okay, Wendy, please. That's enough, Wendy, please. Thank you, honey. Okay, I'm going to do this. Yes, that's my minimalist closet behind my head. You've seen that in another video or short. Um, when I did it in the short, it was really pretty. Right now, it's just I use it. Okay, so I don't I don't view that as pretty behind me today, but that's what you're seeing. I just um I just set the phone down. I'm feeling kind of tired. Wendy, please stop. Please stop. It's Wendy. Enough. Come, come, come up. Okay, look a watch. Look and watch. But there's nobody here. It's not here. It's not here. It's somewhere else, maybe down the road, maybe at the neighbors, but it's not here. No, not our house. Come on. I'm trying to teach her with those new driveway alarms that when the alarm goes off, that's here. And that's what she gets to be concerned about. But the other, for any of you guys that are just coming in later or anything, it's a pajama day. I didn't brush my hair. I was kind of busy-ish when I got up this morning with the morning chores for today. I needed to put a roast on to cook so that I won't lose it. I have enough ice to keep it cool, but I needed to be careful with it. And since it's not raining, I needed to get it outdoors and cooked on. Because of some of this that I've been talking to you guys about and about food and stuff like that, I'm starting to I'm starting to work with the wood cook stove, the vintage antique wood cook stove that I picked up a while back. That is, let's see, if I touch the phone, let's be careful, right? It's over there. Oh, you can't sit that way. Turn. Okay. Over there in the corner, up on the legs, that's the thermal pot sitting on top of it. But I'm getting ready to start seeing if I can use that. Uh, Making repairs or whatever needs to be made. One time I had found information about it, but I tried to look it up on Google again, and now it says we've never seen a stove like that. Well, it doesn't say that, but you know what I'm getting at. So I don't know, but I'm trying to find. I think I need different burner covers, eyes. What's on there doesn't seem vintage to me, but I have a couple of websites that are vintage wood stove information, and I need to spend some more time looking at that in my downtime when I'm resting and not walking around. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys that yesterday at the farmers market, it's the first time in probably 2 or 3 months when I was able to stand up, except for the ride to the farmers market, which is about 6-ish miles each way, so 12 miles. Um, I was able to stand up all morning until I returned home. And then I walked around my property with my friend. And that was amazing because I wasn't sure I could stand up that long. I've had a lot of trouble with my left side. Um, but anyways, that's what's going on. All right, what else we got? So, folks, three uppercase Q's and questions and whatever. Oh, Leanna, I see yours. Yeah, I, I'm alive. But it is true. When I almost died at that event in Quartzsite, that Thanksgiving, it took me a number of weeks to get to Yuma before I could go see a doctor because somebody told everybody, I should say the person's name, but somebody told everybody that one, I was too poor to take me to the hospital, and two, I was fine. I made it all up. Um, it took me almost a month to get to Yuma and then to get to a hospital, and they kept me in the hospital 6 days. And when that happened, I told them about me having the dengue and malaria. And they were like, oh, well, I wonder if that has something to do with why you act like you might have had a stroke, but it's not a stroke. And then the neurologist, two neurologists in Yuma, two different ones said, it looks like MS, but it doesn't look like MS. We don't want to call it that. It doesn't really look like that's what it was. Um, but you've had malaria, so who knows? And so, that's affected me and my life and my stuff. Because when you've had malaria, it's sort of like when you have a fire, there's ash left, and then you have to do something with the ash, right? Well, when you have malaria, it's sort of the same way. It leaves a residue in your body that they will, every time they test your blood, they're going to see that. And they're going to go, oh, you've had malaria. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know what it does to you, but it's there. So but I've been told that you can like have a relapse of malaria if certain things happen to you, or and with MS you kind of stress is like really bad for it, and I have just lived a stressful life, good and bad, okay, but I don't want it anymore. That's why I love it out here. I love it out here. I just love it. Yeah, don't. I saw that comment, and malaria is not no more. And Kylie Jenner fan page, why are you out here? You're just a troll, most likely. And yes, I'm making an assumption, but anyway. Uh, so lots of those things that we had as diseases, they're not as they're not as bad as people made them out to be. When I was young, everybody got the measles. You had them, you got over them, you were done. You know, you had the measles. A lot of people had the mumps. No big deal. Geez, you just got sick. It was normal. Now they want everybody to think you're never supposed to get sick. Well, the better thing for you is go dig in the dirt, get your hands dirty, and move on. You know. Um, this person with this Kylie Jenner thing, would you please? Our community uses three uppercase Qs in front of the comment you want me to read and speak about, but I'm not going to just respond to anything you say. Um, that's the way that is. And I've been on here almost an hour and a half today. So, do we have more questions and comments today? Um, I have never been to India. I have been to a lot of countries, but I have not been to India. So I can't speak about that. I'm going to run and get a drink. I'm going to come right back. Yes, pajamas and all. I'm FYI, guys. I'm trying this caffeinated instant coffee off Amazon. If you buy it, go through my store so I get a couple of pennies from you. You know, haven't clicked on it through my store. It's expensive, but the reason I thought I'd try it is because it's mold-free, low acid, and Swiss water decaffeinated, and it's organic. And I thought, you know what? As much as in the summer I want an iced coffee drink, I'm going to just try this. It comes with a little tiny scoop. Anyway, I would sort of like, to have a mushroom coffee or mushroom drink, but just didn't get to that. So I've been trying it, and it actually is less acid and all of that. It's just horribly expensive. But and y'all know that I don't like plastic. But you saw the cup that I've drunk out of before, but I don't like using a straw. I don't like plastic. And I want to be able to get my hand all the way to the bottom to wash it. Okay? And I've been struggling to find something. And I had, I put one of the metal balls in this thing. But I've had these, I forgot what they're called. But anyways, I've had these a number of times. I can get my hand all the way in the bottom to wash it. Okay. So it's not single-use plastic. This one is really hard to open. Really hard to open. Oh, there we go. All right. But the other one I was using, I had bought at Dollar General. I got it on sale, but I had a straw, and I don't like drinking with a straw. And once you took the straw out, there was no way to drink out of it. The inside of it was stainless steel, and the outside was plastic. And it was enough double walls so that it kept stuff cold. But I gave it away. I couldn't do it. I can't drink, I don't want to drink with a straw. And it just didn't feel right. So I got rid of it. I wish that I could find some kind of, I love the enamel, okay? Oh, well, here's the other thing. Okay, there's one other problem with some of the things I've had for glasses. I have stone floor on the patio and on the front porch. And with an autoimmune, especially the kind I tend to have, I might grab something and I know I've got it. No problem. I'm holding it. And it just fall out of my hand. Because I think My brain says I've got it, but I guess I don't got it. And so I have found that even if I had something small where I can get my hand around it like that, I drop it less, right? But how often are you going to have a cup that size? Hardly ever. By the way, this date syrup to me tastes like a milder version of molasses. It's really good. I tried it on sourdough bread. I tried it in my iced coffee. There's so little in this container right now, but I really like that. I don't use a lot of sweetener. I don't. I don't think in the scheme of things that I use a lot. But anyways, whatever. Um, so um, so I'm. I have accidentally dropped mason jars. Oh, and I had the problem with mason jars of the lids not fitting. Now, back when I was a girl, we had most all ball cannon jars that had the glass lids and the rubbers you put on them. And so I got looking at that, and I'm considering buying a couple of WEC jars, WECK. And if I can't find neoprene sleeves or that would be a good use for silicone because I mean your hands are going to touch it, but what else am I going to do? I don't know. But I got to find something to put on the outside so that if it was going to slip, I don't lose it and drop it and break it on the stone floor. That's the part I get concerned about with the glass is that I broke it. And it's hard to travel in a car with when I was doing so much overlanding, and if I was to travel in the car again, would I do glass jars? Um, they're heavier and they're breakable. So I've been thinking about for the spices in the car situation, I might get the reusable mason Ziploc bags for like spices and stuff like that. I might, but I don't even have my car right now, so I don't know. So I don't like that I'm drinking out of plastic, but at least it's not single use and it's not hot, and I can clean this better. And so I'm not sure what else to do right now. I love my enamel mugs, but without a lid on them, they're a little challenging. I don't know. I don't know. I did find I need to measure the top of my white enamel mugs. I did find that you can buy replacement enamel mug lids and that they come in a couple of other sizes. So, well, I'm looking back to see if I missed any uppercase Q's. Um, okay. I don't think I've missed any. Whoops, I'm moving the. Sorry, guys. Well, crap. Okay. Uh, but Beth says WEC jars are great, but so expensive. Yes, but luckily or something, I'm by myself here, and so I can limit how many. And that drawer in the Ninja cooler, if I get some short ones that'll fit in there, um, yogurt and kefir do not need to be kept cold. But if I had little short jars that could fit in there, I could keep things without plastic better. So I'm considering maybe buying one or two and trying them to see if I do want to put something in the cooler, a leftover or something and I put a rubber ring on it, will it keep it sealed enough so the water won't get inside from melting ice? If that would help, that might be worth it. Because I don't know how else. Right now, I don't know. I don't know. If you guys come up with some idea, let me know. Um, I wish I had an enamel travel mug. Maybe that had stainless steel on the inside, but it doesn't really matter. Um, I did find one on Amazon. What was the name of it? I don't remember the name, but it comes in a lot of different colors, but it comes in the blue and white. This this blue and white color. And it is enamel on the outside and double wall stainless. And it's made to fit. It's tall like this and made to fit in a cup holder of a vehicle. And that might be nice. But I also have this thing about I like to see what I'm drinking. I want to see that a bug flew in, but I do this every time I walk away. I don't snap it until I want to shake it because that's hard to open for me. So I see Beth saying, please put 3 uppercase Q's in front of any questions or comments for Lesa to see and read. Thank you. With lots of thumbs up. Um, it's been nice as I've been like cleaning up and reorganizing. It's been nice to find things. This isn't a great brand, but like the some of my old essential oils to find them again. Um, it's been nice to just simplify things and clean up and get rid of the clutter that I've been like too overwhelmed to deal with. Now the construction clutter is a whole other thing. Soon I we've almost used all the old boards and scraps of materials that I have. There's not much left. And I've got one gate to build for out near the hammock area. And I want to make it out of those leftover white boards from when I made the big gates out front years ago. But I also need to repair a gate and move it. The one that's over near the shower house is not where I want it. And now that I've remembered about the bed being like a bump out space, um, I'm moving the hoop garden stuff I started. I'm just taking it down because I don't think I even want it here. I don't know the answer to that right now. But so maybe I'll barter it away. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm moving it. Then I'm going to mark how far away from the cabin that bed extension bump out is going to be. I'll mark that outside in the ground, you know, and then I will put the gate between there and the water totes. And that will feel better because I already just want to walk through there every morning because I want to go feed the birds. And Wendy likes to go walk to the wood pile, out to the fence in the front gate, and around by the compost pile. And she makes a big circle and comes back. And I think she does her poop while she's out there. But she does it every morning. She wants to do that walk. I've got to do something to keep the bugs down in the bird bath pond. Somebody gave me a good idea, but with the fact that Wendy will go sit in it, I don't think putting vegetable oil floating on the top so the bugs won't like breed I don't think it's a good idea if Wendy's going to go sit in it. So probably not going to do that. I'm not missing any of your comments, am I? What else do you want me to talk about today? Because otherwise, I might close this up and go. Feels better having a little drink. But I wouldn't be able to be doing this, being without a vehicle, without the help of friends and neighbors. And this is when the neighborly thing really, really helps. Because without neighbors and neighborly people, um, it's hard to be in this situation. Not just hard. It's not impossible, but it's hard. And I am absolutely blessed to have someone who will stop by the post office and pick up my Amazon packages when all I have to do, they have my post office box key. I gave it to them for now. And they said, you just let me know when your stuff's there, and then I'll stop and pick it up and I'll make sure you get it. And I'll tell them, there's nothing refrigerated. It's not. Get it to me when you can. Don't make it hard on yourself. But that person evidently doesn't live that far away from, not very far away from me. Well, I say not that far. Everything out here is far, but I got the sense that they're 10 miles away. Um, so um, that's a blessing. So I have spent a little extra money on emergency foods to help my diet be easier. And it's a blessing when somebody says, hop in the car, let's go to the store. Because then I can just buy a couple of pieces of meat and some ice. And I have some other stuff to make to stretch it so we can be okay. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it right now. Love, love, love the new driveway alarms. They are solar powered. Can't think of the word. They're solar powered. The things that you put out by the road. What are they called? And why am I having trouble finding words today? And the part that's in the house, the receiver part, is rechargeable USB. The only thing that I'm not a fan of is it has a flashing green light on it that tells you that it's charged on the receiver. I'm going to put painter's tape over it because it wakes me up at night and I can't stand it. Well, evidently, when it needs to be recharged, it stops flashing and then it says battery low until it dies. And they could have made the light smaller. Okay. For an average house, it probably wouldn't even bother somebody. But for me in this tiny space, it's the only thing flashing. Don't like it. Putting painter's tape over it. That's the way that's going to be. And I've turned the sound down low. I need to turn it lower. That's okay. I've got to change the sounds I have set up on the part that's out at the road. There's a name for that, but whatever. But I like them. I like them a lot. And I would recommend these. So these will eventually go in the store, the Amazon store. I need to work on the Amazon store. I don't. I wish there was a way to make the Amazon store pretty and organized so you'd want to go out there. Because I don't even want to go out there. I don't like Amazon stores the way they're set up. They're just weird to me. Um, but you know, they gave me the They gave me the store when it came out. Every time I've been with them so many years that they just give me stuff. I don't have to apply. They just say, "Hey, you qualify for this now. Here, you're gonna be the first one of the first ones to get this." So it's a thing, you know. But yeah, yeah, that I could reach that. I saw, I saw what you put up there, Beth. It's called Better Link. Okay, here we go. It doesn't say it on the paper exactly, but Better Link. Where does it become? Wireless driveway alarm. Love it. The company was really good to me. I lost this paper and couldn't figure out how to change the tone, the sound on the part that's out on the tree. And then I found it 2 days later. So I got a hold of Amazon and said, "Do you guys know how to do this?" Their information was old. So I got a hold of the company, and Amazon got a hold of the company too. And I said, "Hey, can you guys send me an electronic copy? Because I don't know where I put mine, but I want to change the sound." And they, overnight, the next morning, I had the electronic copy of this. So, but this is the one to get, guys. I'll have to do a gear review. You know, I used to have a whole series of simple gear reviews, but this one's hitting. The This is the little owl is the part. What's it called? Let me look and see if I can find the word I want. Of course not. Of course, it would be right there any other day. Yeah, of course. I don't even see the word I was looking for. So the sensor is the part that's inside that makes the sound. That's this square box. And I bought the kit. So you can get the kit with two receivers and one of these, or with one of these and four of these. Or I bought the box that had one of these and two of these, um, because it was right around $60. Okay. They're not cheap. But the owls, this is the part you put on the tree. And so it has a motion sensor on it. It's that eyeball, and don't touch it with your finger. Everything says don't touch it with your finger. And the solar panel's right across the top. And so you just screw this as a thing on the back. You just screw it on a tree or a post or something, or on the side of your house, right? And then this thing, you pair this to this. His necktie you can touch, and it's a button for you to do some change in some modes, okay, to turn him on and off. You can make it have a siren alarm, which is really loud and annoying. It scared me. But it has other functions. I just want this to sound inside the house, and this can be a half a mile away. Transmitter, maybe. It's not really that's not the word I was thinking, but I can't find the word I was thinking. Anyway, but this goes on the tree, and it has a solar panel, and then this is the one that's rechargeable inside the house with a USB or on your car or whatever. So you you turn this on, you touch his necktie, lights come on here. Then on here, you touch the button again, and it flashes one of these four, and you can decide which one of these four is he's going to be. So my first My first one was up here, and my second one was down at. Well, then you touch the volume up and down buttons on this thing to change the tone. And I'm going to have to go out and set them again because one of my owls is playing some song that I don't like, and the other one's doing a doorbell sound. Not my favorite, but it's okay. I'll change them now that I found the stuff. So, but love these. These are the ones to get, and they're solar powered, and yeah, they're pricey, but for me, when I'm going to bed, ever since I put these up, when I go to bed, neighbors, okay, they're a quarter of a mile away from me, okay? They leave their house in vehicles so much. I can't even tell you how often. You heard Wendy barking this morning on this video, on this live chat. That was because there were vehicle sounds, probably at the neighbors, because it sounded too close, okay? But 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 1:30, 11:30. I'm like, every time I was hearing a vehicle, because I lived out here alone for so many years, every time I'd hear a vehicle, I would wake up. What was that? Oh, it's a vehicle. Oh, that's got to be the neighbors. Okay. So ever since I had these set up and I found out they worked, right? They got tested and I knew they worked. Now when I go to bed and I go to sleep, before I go to sleep, I remind myself, unless you hear the alarm, you don't have to wake up for the sound you're hearing, because a vehicle can't get here unless they pass your alarms, because there's only one way in. And so that has helped me. Wendy hasn't quite got it yet. So she woke me up in the night because she heard something again. But she's beginning to not bark so much because she's beginning to understand. Like yesterday we had two batches of company yesterday that showed up here. And she was like, I saw her look up to the receiver. It's above my clock. And when she heard the sound, she looked up there. And I think she's starting to get the relationship between, wait, that sound means they came here. But if it doesn't make that sound, it's not here. So I'm hoping she'll get that pretty soon, and then she doesn't have to get so excited either. But love this. I will put this in the store. It's not, I don't think it's in the store yet. But I like to test things and make sure they're going to be good before I give them to you. But so, yeah, it's probably a transmitter, Beth. Anything else we want to talk about today while I'm here? Because I don't know. I might want to go. How do I stay so sharp? I have moments when I'm not feeling so sharp. But there are moments like today when I've tried to remember these words and they're not coming, and then somebody says a transmitter and I'm like, that's not what I was looking for, but okay, it works. I don't know. I don't really have big memory problems. I know it can come along with an autoimmune disease and stuff like that. Um, uh, by the way, JW, I think you might be new. Please use 3 uppercase Qs if you want me to read and respond to your comment. I just grabbed it because I saw it. But if you would use the uppercase Qs, when things are scrolling by me really fast with a lot of activity, I can find your uppercase Qs to read your comment. Yeah, Beth, I didn't think I put it in the store yet. I think I need to add it. But it's I love that thing. This is the right one. I had the wrong one the first time. And so some of my neighbors, when I was selling that other kit, some of my neighbors were like, well, I have the same problem you do. I don't want something else I got to plug in. But there's this couple here who have quite a bit of money. and they flaunted a little bit. And his wife wanted it really, really badly, so he's the one that bought it, and that allowed me to have enough money to buy this one, this set. Well, it wasn't quite, yeah, it wasn't an even exchange of funds, but this one costs more. But there were a number of people that were like, wow, I would love to have one of those. And I was like, yeah, I made a mistake. I bought the wrong one. And then when I would explain it, they would say, yeah, well, that's what I need too. I need the ones with the solar panels and the rechargeable thing. And I was like, yeah, so much for selling it, right? But no, I was blessed I was able to sell that. So, but now I'll share that with these other people. Yes, JW, thank you very much. Like that. Yes. Mm. So, um, I find that I used to have more brain fog, is what they often call it, or some of the MS doctors call it cog fog, but brain fog. I've had it at different times. I find that I have more brain fog when I'm stressed, good or bad, or overwhelmed, or I get overheated, or I have an allergen bother me. So, I just try to keep myself busy. I don't know the answer. I just do me. But I know that some of the things that I have chosen to do, I've chosen because I just had this internal knowing to do something that was going to help me be healthier. And so I live very rural, off grid. Now, if I want to go to the actual town where my post office box is, that town is 100-mile round trip. From parking my car here to pulling in my car at the Circle K in St. John's is 48.9 miles. And so, um, for a lot of people, that's the middle of the boonies. For me, it's not. But I grew up like this. So, I didn't always do this. I had an apartment in Times Square for 5 years. So, yeah, I haven't always done this. And I've traveled all over the world. And I would love to do more travel. But I think that the way things are going, maybe I might like to come and go from the cabin more. Anyway, but as far as like brain fog and stuff like that, I think my choices to live really close to nature keeps me much healthier than other things. And I'm on, okay, when I first came here, I didn't own the property. In 2016, I bought 10 acres. I came up here because a friend, Nomad friend who was on a very big, still watched video, um, had this property and invited me up. And when I got here, it just felt like home. And I never thought about buying property. And one day he just said, I've been talking to my mom about this. We want to see about giving you a piece of the land. And I said, oh, no, 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 no. I know how gifts go. No. But rather than like, no, no, how about we put it on the back burner and we figure out a way that I can buy land from you? Oh, that's a good idea. And so, a few months later, I bought land from him. And so, all that being said, when I was first out here, up until it's either 3 or 4 years ago, I was the only person for 200 acres around me. There was nobody around me. Past me? Yeah. Down that way? Yeah. but not here. And I'm very close to state trust land. I'm very close to the Navajo Nation woodlot, the corner of their reservation, and I'm in a watershed area. So um, I'm blessed that it's crazy, crazy rural and close enough to a town. Now Sanders is a little less distance, shorter distance to go to Sanders up on I-40 than the other way. And that's where I prefer to go, but my mail and packages that are not brought to me by UPS or FedEx always end up in St. John's. And so that's a trip. And if you don't have a vehicle out here, you're not getting to a store because you're not walking 2 blocks to a store. Ain't happening. 2 blocks from me, there's nothing. And I was telling somebody yesterday at the farmer's market, I remember when I would have said to somebody, just drop me at the intersection. I can walk the rest of the way home. And I don't feel like I can anymore with this autoimmune and my leg bothering so much. But it's a blessing that I was able to stand up almost all day yesterday. Yay. So I'm hoping that if I work with that again, maybe I can start walking again, like distances or something. I don't know the answer. But so let me see. I saw another uppercase Q's. Out of all the experiences I've had in life, or maybe you've had in life, do you have a peak moment that was really exciting or life-changing? There's been a bunch of life-changing. That story I told earlier about when I had dengue and malaria in Costa Rica, that was pretty scary, but not life-changing. I've had so many just big experiences. I'm thinking I can't grab one that says, well, I guess this would be a good one. When I first was living in the indigenous village in Costa Rica, I didn't know their language and I didn't know Spanish. I mean, a couple of words of Spanish. And it was hard. I rented a house. I didn't want to, but I was put in this house to sleep by people I had met. And then their daughter came to visit. They told me it was their aunt's house. And their daughter came to visit. And when she went to get on the bus to leave, the last bus of the night, 9 o'clock at night or whatever, her boys didn't go with her. She gave me her boys, but I didn't know what the words were. And it took me 6 months to give her those kids back. So I rented the house. Well, come to find out, way down the road, like months later, I was paying rent to the wrong person. Didn't even own the house, didn't have anything to do with the house, but they were getting rent from me every month. They were telling me what I could do to the house and what I couldn't. And I thought they owned the house. Oh, it was a whole little thing, okay? And there were so many times that I would go take one of those cold showers. So the hose, the garden hose, was through the wall, is how you had a shower. You had a cement shower pan to stand in, but there was just a hose stuck in the wall. And you would turn that on and it would be the coldest water. And, oh, good Lord, that was cold. And there were more. I was so clean while I was there. I took more showers so I could cry in the shower and nobody could hear me, because nobody understood me and I didn't understand them, and I was so confused and I didn't know what to do. And how was I going to raise these boys? I don't know what to do for these boys. And then they'd take them to some Catholic thing, and I didn't grow up Catholic. And like, I didn't know what to do. And oh, you have to buy them shoes, and you have to, and it was always money, money, money. And it was like, I haven't got it. I don't have it. You guys don't understand me. I'm broke. And they're like, you're not a normal gringa. Anyway, anyway, about a year in, I finally understood what somebody was saying. And about that time, but so by the time I finally understood them, then Poppy, the father of the family, was introducing me to somebody I'd never met before. And I could understand what he was saying about me. And I just was in awe. These people got to know me by my character and my actions and not by my words. And when I could understand how he described me to someone else, that was the first time that I knew that I was a good person. And I never knew it before then. To hear him describe me as having magic hands and being so much like his grandmother and wanting to know the old ways, and how I was so, oh, he always was using the word that you have so much love. Everything you do it with love. You don't do it because you think you're smart, or because you have a better shirt than I have, or because of something else. You do it because you love. And he only got mad at me once. And the one time he got mad at me was because he had cut himself really bad, not with the machete, but when he cut a banana tree, a piece fell and cut his arm really, really bad. And he came to me to have me help him. And the only thing I could think to put on it, I don't even remember now what it was. It stung. And he was like, oh, he got so mad at me. He was like, your hands are magic, but you hurt me. That's not, my grandmother would not have hurt me, which made me think about whatever it was I put on it. I was like, oh, I wonder if she would help him heal without it hurting more. How do you do that? How do you, as the EMT or the doctor, not cause a further pain as you're trying to help somebody? Because I never experienced that. If you want a doctor to help you, you're getting a shot and it's going to hurt. And so I was like, oh, buck up. You're a man. You're all right. And he was like, oh, no. My grandmother never would have made me cry. And he always, that little thing. Anyways, sorry, that was a story, but that's the best I got right now. I've had lots of things happen. So, guys that are new coming in, we have a habit here of using 3 uppercase Qs in front of comments that you want me to read out loud and respond to, or talk about, or answer a question for you to try to help you with something that you might have a problem with. I tend to like to help solve problems. I've been very nomadic. I live in the high desert of Arizona. Not everything is perfect here. You will see lots of things online that look like anything is possible, because it is. First off, it is. But the reality of that is it's hard. It's hard. Extreme weather, all kinds of things. Anyways, I'm here. So I'm here. I can help you if you want. and our community can help. I see some waving from somebody. Oh, Polish. I don't know you, but hi. Um, we're a very gentle group out here. Be kind. If you're trollish, my moderators have permission to smack a troll and get rid of you. So be nice, be kind. Do I have any regrets? I was thinking about that like in the last couple of weeks. Um, I've had a bunch of people around me had cancer or thought they had cancer and now they don't, right? Like Leanna, yay. But and it made me I was thinking about life and death and stuff and I was sort of like regrets. Yeah. Not really. Would I have done a few things in life differently? Maybe. But I didn't. And so whatever I did was what I was supposed to do. Because everything in the universe is under somebody else's control, not mine. So as far as regrets, no. Um, would I change some things? I don't know. I'm grateful that my mother wasn't good to me. I'm grateful that my sisters and brother at times have hated me. Um, and I'm grateful that not everybody likes me. Do I like it? No, not always. Do I sometimes wish it could have been different? Yeah, but as old as I am now, wishing it was different, it wasn't different. It's what I got. Am I sad that my grandfather died when I was young? Yeah, I loved the heck out of him, but he was gone. Am I sad that my puppy got run over by a truck? Yeah. Am I sad that my guinea pig died or that my sister's, what did she have, gerbil, froze to death because it hibernated and we thought it was dead and stuck it out on the back porch in the snow and then it really did die? um you know am I sorry that I slapped some little girl when I was 7? Yeah, but I did it. Do I know why? Yeah, I kind of know why, but it didn't matter. Would I do it again if I was 7 today? I don't know. Maybe I would. But if I was my adult self with everything I know now and I was 7 tomorrow, would I slap that same girl? No. Would I? No. But do I regret it? No, I don't regret it. Okay, that's that. Oh, Iris, loving stories, eh? I guess it's a story day. Um, JW, do you believe in free will? Well, of course I do. Oh, you guys, I'm seeing those comments of Iris and Leanna. Um, that's interesting. And every time the phone is buffering, I'm like, wait a minute, what word was I saying? So when it comes back, I can be on the same word. That's beginning to take talent. Yeah. I can't wait to get this place finished so I can have company and so I can live again and not feel like I'm always trying to do something. Or, now, halfway through that, I heard something. Maybe what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to do, and I'm supposed to start having my life while I'm doing it. That's possible too. Yeah, it's absolutely possible. So yeah. JW, no uppercase Q's, man, but or girl or whatever. But to comment on that, you said what happened was supposed to happen, but what is free will if your story is written when you look back on it? I think it's free will. You come up to a thing and you can do it or not do it or whatever. There might be 5 or 6 choices, okay? I always told my kids there's always 3 to 5 ways to solve a problem. So hunt for 3 to 5. If you can find 3, we're good. Let's figure it out from there. But if you can find 5, we're even better, right? So, I mean, it's the same way with us. And so we have free will. The great one or whatever who can see the whole picture doesn't know what we're going to do until we do it. Okay? But once we do it, it's exactly what we were supposed to do. Because he'll make everything work together for good. That's the best I got. Okay? Yeah, JW, thank you for those. That was good. Lesa L a couple of weeks ago hit me with a bunch that were really good questions too. I love that. It's very helpful. Because sometimes I come in, well, like this morning, I'd been busy and I didn't even get my hair brushed, and I was like, I'm just doing pajama morning. Just that's the way it is. Y'all gonna sit here like you surprised your neighbor and just showed up. And so we get what we get, but it's kind of cool. Mm. JW, again, no uppercase Q's. Please humor me. It helps. If we were busier, and the reason I say that is if you start to do it, it becomes a habit. Habits are easier to always do, so that it helps everybody, and I appreciate that. But anyway, what I said made sense, but isn't he the outside of time and can see each outcome of choice we make? Yes, and that's what I'm saying. That because he, the great one, um, but he knows that the great creator and sustainer of all life knows what the big picture outcome is going to be. And everything he created, none of it knows. The tree doesn't know, I don't know, whatever. Okay? So he can use whatever free will choice we make to still get to his end result. And he, you know, and so we do have free will. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we can say yes or we could say no. We can say, Moses was like, I can't speak good, don't make me. So he did, and he used his brother for a while. And then, somebody else says, but I don't wanna. Well, I'll let you get swallowed by a fish. That'll change your mind. That's okay. You could do that. You could make that choice. But let's have you swallowed by a fish so I can do the next thing. Whatever. I'm not. Anyways. Do you think everyone achieves the creator's main goal? Well, main goal. What do you mean by that? This go around, the great creator gave us free will, so we get to choose whether we're going to become great creators as well or not. And that basically is, are we going to go one direction or are we going to go, a light direction or a dark direction, for lack of better terms? And in the absolute end of whatever, um, I I have a hunch that there will be people that might even surprise the creator and last minute change their mind. And if they're sincere, which he's the only one that would know, then they'd be saved or whatever you want to call that. So I don't know if I'm. There's a lot of that's speculation and who knows, right? But his result's gonna be the result that he picked out because he created it all and he knows what he's aiming for, and we don't. And so yeah, just using my terminology. I don't know what I mean. What do you think we were made for? You know, I believe it was written somewhere that the creator wanted an experience of not being alone and not being the only, and that changed some of this creation's process, progress, goal, whatever, because he tried this a few times. He didn't like what he was getting for a result. And he was like, well, I know one thing. Every time I make humans, you're going to do this and you're going to do that and you're going to do the other. That's a given. You're going to act like this and that and the other. So this time, we're going to do it so, because like when he created angels, he made them so they can't die. That he realized that's not the best way to be creating something, because when the fallen angels went the direction they went, they had free will to choose it, but they're not choosing to come back, and they can't ever die. And he was like, that's not loving, that's not fair's a bad term, but you get my drift. And he's like, so the next time I create something, we're not making them so they live forever like angels. That was a bad idea. So it's kind of cool that he learns. I'm saying he, whatever. Anyways. Um, so, okay. So, guys, we've been a little over 2 hours, and I'm starting to feel a little tired. It's starting to get warm. It's about 81. Yeah, I'm still in my pajamas. I want to take the hot shirt off here pretty soon. Um, and so I'm going to close this up. Thank you for being here. This was fun. I appreciated all the kind of cool comments and the new people coming in. You guys are welcome to come back. Um, mostly each Sunday morning between at 9:30 Arizona time, which you would have to adjust for your time wherever you are. Look it up. What is Arizona time compared to mine, right? And but I have lovingly been using same bat time, same bat channel next Sunday. And I'll let you know if for some reason I can't do, or, a couple of times I've been sick, a couple of times I just didn't want to. But most Sundays I'm here at 9:30 Arizona time. We've been doing this a couple, 3 years. We simply talk about all kinds of subjects that usually have something to do with being nomadic or around the world travel or overlanding or outdoor camping, outdoor living, um, living off grid, being very rural. I don't know. Have I hit all the high points? Um, I ask you all at the beginning and at the end, please pray for each other because prayers have power of some kind. You do what works for you. You may have some other form with a different word. That's fine. You do what works for you. I talk to the great creator as I go through my days. And I found a lot of power and usefulness in that and help in that. So don't forget to thank him that Leanna does not have cancer, but also to encourage us to all be grateful that she has an autoimmune and to help her as she goes through figuring out how to be healthier with what she's got. Um, let's remember to pray for Homer, whose hand is healing up. He broke things in a windstorm when a door like hit him or something. And pray for Wendy's sadness that we maybe find a way that she can play with some friends or something a little more often, or that we get some kitties or cat that's large enough that she can play with. Um, she's doing well. Continue to pray that my vehicle, whatever's best for all, for the all that is all, I whatever. But my vehicle's still not here, still not being worked on yet. I would love to hear some progress, but who knows what's going to happen. Help me to help me to be, maybe pray that I continue with wisdom and find the Creator's will and bring my will into more alignment with the Creator's. I don't know what He wants from me right now. I've got some friends who are coming to visit. They're coming from Kentucky. They're going to go to California first for a retirement gig, and then they're coming back here and they're going to stay a while. I need to get my wood pile restacked so they can get into a comfortable campsite. And I feel like I need to move a couple of items here. I've been trying to sell a small wood stove. I've been trying to sell a huge 5,000 watt hour solar set that is still in the boxes. I've also been trying to sell a C6 Rev rooftop tent. I'm doing this because it's a very useful tent that can be a ground tent. You can use it in the back of a pickup truck, or you can mount it on the rooftop. But it only weighs 25 pounds, and the mattress is built in. I got it. I did a video of it. It fits on top of my tracker, but I have no way to tie it down. So, and then I realized I don't want to sleep on the ground. So, when I travel, I've always traveled and slept inside my vehicles for years. So, either that or a hammock. So, I I want to let go of that tent. Some of these things are on Marketplace. Some prayers for how that maneuvers would be really useful. I would like to get the barbed wire on the T-posts that are all along the front, the road frontage. The barbed wire got tangled and it's on the ground. But it needs to be put up on the T-post. There were some mistakes made the first 2 times somebody tried to help me with the road. Because basically, this doesn't sound good, guys, but basically they were being lazy and they didn't want to finish the job. So there came a point where I just said, all right, you're done. Just go. Just be done. Just be done. We'll just call that good. Just go. And so it's not perfect, but if the wire was up, Wendy wouldn't be trying to protect everything. Plus, the cattle and the elk and stuff wouldn't be coming through from that direction. And so it would be another defense, another safety factor thing. But no, we're doing good here. I myself ask for inspiration and gratefulness and wisdom and stuff like that. But anything y'all want to pray for me, I'll take it. Just, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say. But we're going to have a great day, right? And we'll be back here. Oh, it's 12 o'clock by my clock. We'll be back here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Ciao. Have a great one.